My name is Dr. Vivian Malan. I am the state veterinarian based at Elsenburg and I look after the Boland State Vet area. So bovine tuberculosis is a disease that is caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium bovis. It affects most mammals and it causes a chronic disease, which means it takes a very long time for the disease to develop, and it affects all parts of the animal's body, but mainly the respiratory tract or the gastrointestinal tract, and also in the dairy animals, the udder of the cow. It is a progressive disease that ultimately leads to death, and there's currently no treatment that can be bought over the counter. Bovine TB mainly affects cattle, but it can also affect other mammals such as sheep, goats, horses, dogs and cats. It also affects wildlife species, and in South Africa the African buffalo in some of our national parks are also infected. It is very difficult when the disease establishes itself in wildlife vectors. Bovine TB is spread through the respiratory droplets from infected animals or other bodily fluids. Other animals are infected when they get into contact with animals that are infected through respiration or when they eat contaminated material. Predators that also feed on infected animals can get infected in that way too. Humans can get bovine TB if they do get into contact with infected animals or eat infected products. It's very difficult to distinguish human TB and bovine TB from each other without extensive testing, but it is also possible to treat humans, but it's a very long treatment that requires several antibiotics. Meat that are slaughtered in a registered abattoir are inspected for the presence of TB and should therefore be safe. Milk bought from retailers will also have been pasteurized and are therefore safe. It is important to buy your meat from a registered retailer, and the same with the milk that you use. You should never buy raw or unpasteurized milk and eat that from a source that you don't know. Like many diseases, bovine TB can be prevented by good biosecurity. It's therefore important to know where you buy your cattle from and make sure you only get them from herds that are regularly tested. It's then also important to keep your cattle away from other sources that can infect them, such as wildlife or cattle with an unknown testing status. It is best to have your cattle tested against TB every second year. The whole herd should be tested, and that's normally done by a private veterinarian who would come in and inject an antigen into the neck of the animal and then come back and read the reaction on that antigen 3 days later. Without regular testing, it's not possible to know whether your herd is infected or not.